Okay, so it's been about a couple of days since the last updated video. I know it's like kind of 3 months, a couple months, and then back to doing the work, but I've been so busy. So anyway, I was gonna mount them up top. I ended up mounting them below in obviously the lower section above the beam, below the beam, sorry, because I couldn't really fit them up there and it didn't look great. So we got all of our junction boxes in, there are outlets, which is great, and obviously over here as well. I couldn't mount those up top again. That's why we just copied the ones down there. But now what I'm doing is I'm just going through with the auger bit. And this is where I'm making all of the holes that are gonna run throughout all of the joists to connect to obviously all of the outlets in the wall. So we're finally done with running all of the wire through the joists, connecting to each junction box in here. The only thing that I do have left to do now is just to obviously do a piece of wire going from our outlets to our junction boxes. So I do believe we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right there. So 7 boxes, and then we'll start obviously wire nutting them together and worrying about shooting the line from that outlet there. We're going to tie into the main house feed, and then it's going to obviously go underground and pop in right here. If the lighting's odd, I apologize. I have like this random bulb just chilling with an extension cord that runs to the house on the outside of it. So if it looks weird, I apologize. But I just wanted to give you guys an update of what's going on in the barn today, or I don't really know what to call it, really, fish room barn thing. So we're running all of the wires that go down to all of the outlets. We have 2 outlets wired in. We got 1 there, and I think 1 there. So from what I got told by my electrician friend was I didn't have to run like 7 junction boxes, because I was unaware that you could just kind of, you know, run 1 feed down to the plug, and then on the other side of the plug you can start new wire, and then you can go to the next plug, and you can kind of jump them like that. So I didn't know that I could do that. So I was actually, funny enough, following like this little like, you know, card thing, and it says like, you know, how to run wire, you know, to plugs and stuff. So I wanted to do it this way, and he said that it wasn't a bad idea, like it wasn't a bad thing that I did it like that. The only thing was that it obviously would take me a little bit longer, and it honestly has taken me a little while longer than expected. But on top of that, like, because I got so many junction boxes, the best thing about it is if I was actually wanting to put more lights in, I already have like countless sources of power in different locations, so I can go ahead and just put my lights up wherever I please. But I'll show you what my electrician friend was like trying to explain to me as far as like wiring the lights and not having to put a bunch of junction boxes and tee them in like we have done up there to down there. So this is obviously our junction box, and you can see that we have obviously the 2 lines that come into the junction box. It was 1 continuous line going all the way through, and then what I did is I just kind of put them inside, and I kind of like pulled out, and I made like a V, and I cut the V, which then obviously left me with like, you know, the 2 lines in there. So what the electrician was saying was, instead of having a bunch of junction boxes like I have done, like, you know, and I have put them honestly bloody absolutely everywhere, and I didn't really intend for that to happen. I just wanted to make sure that it was correct. So what he was trying to explain to me was, I have like this little card thing, and obviously it shows you different ways to, you know, wire the plug up. So let's go ahead and find a plug here. Okay. So this is obviously your standard 20 amp plug. Yes, I did change the inside of the wire. I was unaware that if you had a 20 amp fuse in the fuse box, you have to have 20 amp wire. And what he was telling me about that is if I was kind of overloading on this, the wire would actually give out before the breaker switched and turned off. So he was like, you know, if you get like some, if you pull too much amperage on that wire, this wire actually, funny enough, this will actually burn through and then kind of cause, you know, a fire. But he was like, it's highly likely for that to happen, but he said you might as well be safe than sorry. So I did change everything to 20 amp wire going throughout the fish gallery. So, and then I had to go and buy new plugs. So I got 20 amp plugs right here. So what he was trying to say and explain was this wire that comes down from the main feed that comes into that junction box. Main feed's going to be coming in, up, connecting to that. What he was saying was I can go ahead and get that line, and I could come through, come down, and then tie in exactly how I have done with this. But instead of doing the T up here that I did with all the other wiring, he said you could have just connected to this side. So you have obviously your neutral and your live. On the top, obviously, that's your hot right there, and then this one is just like your neutral. And then you would do the same down, but then you would run the downstairs wire just up, you know, through the top of the box, and then you would continue over, go to the next one, do the same thing, jump it, go to the next one, jump it, go to the next one. That way you didn't have to have like 7 junction boxes throughout the whole, you know, room. So I thought that was kind of neat. I mean, I learned something new every day. And if I mispronounce the electrician term for like hot and neutral, I do apologize. We'll actually just go ahead and like look at it right now. What do we have? Hot wire. Oh, I was right. Hot and neutral. So yeah, I was correct. So you put your hot on the right, and then you put your neutral on the left. And then obviously when you wire the bottom plug in again, then you would do the same thing. And then you would just literally jump it and go to the next junction box on the next, like, you know, plug. So I was just, you know, I've got a lot of junction boxes, but it's fine. So that's pretty much what's been going on in here, is just running the wire and having to take all the wire back out and then running new wire. And this wire is a lot thicker because it has more wires in it, and obviously it's more heavy duty because of the amount of amperage that's going through it. As far as I know, all I know is this wire is a lot thicker than the wire that we had up here, the 15 amps. So I'm going to get back to work on wiring the other outlets up. I think obviously this one's done, obviously, and then we have to do this one, and we just swing back over here and do this one and this one. The only thing that I did not realize that I put this plug in here thinking that it was just going to be an ordinary plug. I forgot that we're actually going to be putting like the light switch kind of plug in here, so you flick the switch on that activates that plug. I forgot about that because that's how I'm going to be running the wires, because I don't trust myself enough to actually run, you know, LED lights in here and then have like a switch, obviously, like I showed you in the previous video. I was going to obviously put the switch like right here the moment you walk through this door, because obviously I don't want to keep coming through that big door, because we're going to have a lot of tanks here set up on the wall and, you know, relatively close to the ground. So I just don't want it to vibrate and freak the fish out and stress them out and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna get cracking on these outlets, but obviously wired that in, so we're gonna have to figure something else out for an on and off switch. So I'll get you guys tuned back in there the moment I get this done. Let me tell you something, it is absolutely hot today, outside and even inside the fish room here. So the last time I left you guys, I was wiring the plugs. Well, I ended up skipping these two. I don't know why. I guess I was kind of just like, I can't be bothered to, like, you know, do any more wiring. I've been wiring everything for like the longest time, but I do want to show you guys something I picked up for an absolute steal. It requires a little bit of TLC and some power washing and stuff, but just wait. Okay, so this is what happens when I'm left unsupervised with money. That right there is a 100-gallon fish tank. It's like 6 foot length, right? 18 width and then 22 high. So newest collection to the fish room. I'm excited. I can't wait. And thanks to Jeremy for you know, driving to pick this up, because my car does not fit 6 foot long things. So so this tank is, I think, it's officially clean. Obviously I'm not going to worry about like the stuff down here. I think this is just like scuffed and scraped to the point like where I can't kind of clean it. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it doesn't look too bad. I think I'm going to have an issue right down here with obviously the water spots. I used like this water spot remover thing that's safe for aquarium glass by like API. So not too sure if it actually works to a decent amount, because I still see a lot of watermarks down there. I know once obviously there's water in it, you're not going to see it as much, but it's going to irritate me. It's kind of the same like with these tanks. These tanks were in terrible shape when I first got them. I think the guy did like a breeder tank or something like that, because some of these tanks are actually drilled. I think that one, I don't really know what that, I think that's maybe a 75. I think they're both drilled. No, so sorry. So just one of these are drilled, but as far as like water spots go, you can kind of see that. I mean, I scrubbed the absolute crap out of these things, and I don't know why. I think my big one down here, that's bird poop. There is like maybe like some watermarks like right in here somewhere. And like I said, I've tried my absolute best to try and get rid of the watermarks, but I don't know why I can't get rid of them. If you know any, you know, techniques to try and get watermarks out that's better than what I'm doing, please let me know. Welcome back to the fish room build. So here's the thing. Yesterday was very successful. If I seem like I'm out of breath and sweaty, it's because I've been absolutely just busting my booty here, trying to get the electricity done. So good news, I'm actually super pumped. I'll go ahead and just plug this in. If you go ahead and look up, boom. We officially have lights in the aquarium room. I'm super stoked, actually. I'm very happy. I think I might run one more bar on this one. I just didn't want it to be like, because I'll take my glasses off. It's super, super bright in here. Like, I mean, you can probably tell better on camera, but it's ridiculously bright. I don't want it too bright, so I might buy like a dimmer switch or something. So it's just not eye blinding. So I'm going to show you exactly what happened yesterday. And it's pretty cool. We're just getting ready now to cut all of our insulation to match our joists here. Now I know usually by building code they should be 15, and I'm pretty sure these do look like they're 15. They might be a little bit under from joist to joist, so obviously we'll just go ahead and cut the 7 foot that we need, because from the bottom of this joist to the top of this joist down here, that is actually 7 foot. So we have all of our insulation outside, obviously in package. Just got to cut the tags off to get the rolls unrolled. Then we got a tape measure here that obviously measures out from 7 foot. So put them beside it, cut, then we're all good. So let me just tell you, cutting this stuff was kind of actually a pain. I kind of feel like it was easier to have them flipped over, not with the cardboard or paper, whatever you want to call it, like facing up. If you were to push down on the insulation and kind of like spread it a little bit and then cut it, and the blade kind of went right through it. But we have 5, 10, 15, 20. So we have 20 little slabs. Now I think just this wall might be 20. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So this is 15. So for about $70, I can do one wall, roughly. So yeah, it's gonna look so good though. Like, it's not even about the money. It's just like I kind of wanted to gauge how much I'd actually need. I grabbed 4 rolls of 15 by 20 foot, just to kind of see how far I could get. But I mean, I might be able to get halfway here, and then I have like 6 little sections out on the floor that was kind of like scrap, not scrap, but kind of left over from cutting the 7 foot sections. So I'm gonna throw these up and probably get the plastic put up as well. That way one wall's done, so it's kind of exciting. But yeah, I'm sweating, it's so hot.